just rang, so that means it's 5:30 and time for our regular council meeting with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here, if you would all stand with me and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, that brings us to item number 3 on the agenda, which is our audience to visitors. I see Carmen left. Mr. Johnson, are you wanting to address the council? Is this working? Sometimes I hear this. It is. I don't know that you are. Hello? I don't think this is working.
It was.
Oh,
It was.
I got it. For some reason, I don't mute it.
There we go. Mr. Johnson, are you wanting to speak?
How are you?
Doing well.
Well, I pray in the name of Jesus. I have just a minute or two more if I need it, because I wrote this really quick. The Lord had me work on it really quick. Can you hear me? Can you hear me here? My name is Jimmy Johnson. I'm 69 years of age from Marion, Illinois. I'm a Christian patriotic constitutional American and a Vietnam era veteran. Anything that is a potential threat to my community, Marion state, country, or violates life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness is worthy to bring before the elected officials of the Marion City Council meeting dated September 11th, 2023. I took a military oath to protect my country from both foreign and domestic enemies. I still am held to that oath. I'm sounding the alarm in Zion. The enemies of our nation are closing in to destroy life as we know it, using computerized silent weapon technology from a war the Illuminati declared upon the United States and then the rest of the earth in 1954 at the Bilderberg Hotel in Holland, the year I was born on a new moon. The international banking elite, Jesuits, and Roman papal families, Orsini family in particular, from the Vatican declared an actual real war upon the United States and the earth with what they call silent weapons for quiet wars. This is what these recent man-made mutated viruses and or other diseases are all about. Since 1954, all about you are not intended to know where these weapons come from. Henry Kissinger, a German Ashkenazi, stated that the elite were going to reduce the entire Earth's population to 250 million people. There are now over 8 billion people on the planet today. Dr. Anthony Fauci is an Ashkenazi Jesuit who took oaths to create chaos. The Ashkenazi Illuminati, who created and control both universal Freemasonry and communism, are intentionally poisoning us, giving us diseases with tainted vaccines, starving the earth through famines created by HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, or weather control, and are creating wars to eventually invade the United States of America, the New Jerusalem. The ultimate goal of the Illuminati since 1954 is to completely collapse the United States economy and make the American people lose faith in each other. As of January 9, 2023, there were 252 Chinese companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange. I heard last week the Chinese bought 200 more American companies, including Harley-Davidson, General Motors, General Electric, Nike, and Ford, I believe. They could collapse the economy today if they wanted to. It would appear to be the Chinese, but it would be the elite in the shadows. The Chinese and Bill Gates an illuminist is buying up all our farmlands right now to bring foreigners to live. Pacts are being made between Russia, North Korea, China, Iran, and other communist countries. The war between Ukraine and Russia is a staged war by the Illuminati. The European Rothschild family has funded both sides of every war since the French Revolution or Napoleon. Vladimir Putin and Zelensky, who is a comedian and actor, are Ashkenazi Freemasonic communists. John Wilkes Booth was a 33rd degree Freemasonic Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi Freemasonry created communism. All of our America First U.S. presidents have been assassinated in or out of office by Rothschild and Jesuit-controlled Ashkenazi Freemasons or communists, followed up by Ashkenazi doctors. President Biden is an Illuminati stooge, is giving up arms to Ukraine to deplete our U.S. military. North Korea is now giving arms to Russia in exchange for long-distance missile technology. Karl Marx, the Freemasonic Ashkenazi, said the best ways to take over our country for communism is with progressive graduated taxes and immigration. I believe it's in the making right now to do away with all our immigration laws to take over America. This is an over a 500-old conspiracy of the Ashkenazi race originating from Khazaria between the Black and Caspian Seas to control the whole earth because of the Inquisitions. There are only 11 million Ashkenazi people on the planet today, and they control everything through the art of usury, interest on money, and secret societies. Most of them live in New York and Palestine. The Luciferian Ashkenazi are responsible for the Holocaust. They hate religious Jews, ghetto Jews in particular, and Christians. Hitler was a Rothschild, and the Nazi SS was controlled by Ashkenazi Jesuits. The Ashkenazi are not the Israelites and Judahites of our Holy Bible. They adopted Talmudic Judaism as a state religion in 741 AD in Khazaria. They are the seed of Japheth, not Shem. Ashkenaz was the grandson of Japheth in Genesis. The European Rothschild family owns more than 80% of the world's gold and are worth $600 trillion because of the art of usury. They own and control the world's central banks and of every nation, including the Federal Reserve Bank, which owns our own United States government. The Fed is only called federal to deceive the public. The Rothschilds are the Vatican bankers also, and they're worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. The Christian patriotic constitutional Americans need to help President Trump. Donald J. Trump is our only hope for the most part. He has the same mantle that George Washington's got, or had at the time. He was robbed of the 2020 election through computerized Chinese voter fraud. He needs our help. President Trump right now is being railroaded by kangaroo court systems controlled by Luciferian Ashkenazi communists and the European Rothschild family using the Masonic Lodge and Eastern Star with what I believe to be artificial intelligence in America.
Mr. Johnson, you're a minute over your time, so please try to wrap up.
Treason to the United States. I'm just about done here. Right now, through propaganda, another hoax, the Ashkenazi-controlled FBI is interfering with Trump's jury selection with so-called Russian threats. The Ashkenazi have controlled the FBI ever since they poisoned J. Edgar Hoover May 1st, 1972. They are stacking up the cards against President Trump and eventually every Republican if we don't expose them. Donald J. Trump has a right to a jury of his peers, all white, over the age of 70, no juror involved with the Ashkenazi, Masonic Lodge, and Eastern Star. They should be Christian patriotic constitutional Americans from New York area, and all conservative Trump Republicans, wealthy and eat at McDonald's, hate the United Nations Charter and hate communism.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, consent agenda for tonight is items A, B, and C, sub-items included. Anyone from the council want any item removed and voted upon separately? Anybody from our visitor audience want any of these items, A, B, C, or sub-items removed and with a separate vote? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented, please.
I make a motion, we would accept the consent agenda as given, A through C.
I'll second.
Questions or discussions on any of these items? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, under new business, item 5, Commissioner Patton.
I'm gonna step to the podium.
As you may or may not know, my name is Doug Patton. I'm the Commissioner for Accounts and Finance. Tonight I would like to introduce to the public and to the City Council Mr. Lance Roy, my recommendation for the new Treasurer of the City of Marion, effective January 2nd, 2024. If you recall, we budgeted for the new hire to work with Steve Hale for 4 months, so Lance will work alongside with him until Steve's retirement at the end of April. Lance comes to us after 14 years of experience as a partner and CPA with Kemper CPA Group here in Marion. He received his bachelor's and master's degree from SIU Carbondale, and he and his family call Marion their home. When we started this process, we knew we wanted a CPA. Steve Hale, who is also a CPA, has done a remarkable job in his career and came to us with a similar experience as Lance. We feel well equipped moving forward with Lance in that role, and I would like to make a motion to approve the hire of Mr. Lance Roy as treasurer effective January 2nd of 2024.
I'll second.
Questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay?
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steplen,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay.
Mr. Roy?
Two, three. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit.
Oh, no.
Congratulations.
Really not gonna say anything?
A little bit.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, what about your family? Something?
Yeah, I'm a
Sing a song,
lifelong,
tell a joke?
I'm a lifelong Marion resident, live and breathe Marion. Want the best for the city, so when I was approached by the mayor to apply for this job, I was highly interested, and I even remember saying to him, if you find someone who's as qualified as I am that you feel better with, go for it, because I want the best for Marion, so I was glad to be chosen, and thank you guys.
Thank you. See you at the end of, or beginning of January, I guess, right? Don't change your mind.
Don't change your mind. You guys
Okay.
want to stick around?
No, have a good evening.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, you're good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance.
That was a lot of work.
Finally got there.
Yeah, okay. Item 6, economic development, municipal planning. So we've known, obviously, for a while that TIF number 1, which was our first TIF, started, I guess, in 1987, right? Would be coming to statutory end this year, and we need to submit a ordinance to the Department of Revenue informing them that we have taken that action, and that'll be my motion to approve ordinance 3913, which terminates at the end of December this year, 2023, TIF 1.
Second that.
Any questions on this?
So just to be clear, it will stay in effect until the end of the year.
Right.
Yep.
And this had been extended one other time.
Correct. 35 years old in total, so it's time. It's also hard to imagine what Marion would be like without TIF 1, so congratulate our late mayor on being an early adopter of that, and it certainly worked well. He would be proud. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay?
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steplen,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 6B, Cody gave you an updated resolution template from IDOT here on this Safe Routes to Schools resolution. This is simply a component of a grant request that we'll be making for a sidewalk installation using Safe Schools funds. Basically, this is committing up to $60,000 for our local share. I think this is a $250,000 project in total, right, Glenn? Plus or minus?
350,000, I thought we were going in for.
250?
But that's for construction.
It's almost a quarter million.
The phase 1 and 2 design engineering is 100% local.
Yeah, which is what this commitment, right? Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to pass this resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2023-13, approving and authorizing, financial commitment in the 2023 Safe Routes to Schools program.
Second that.
Okay, any questions on this? Not a whole lot to talk about yet because we haven't got the grant, but we're gonna apply for it first, so. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 7, this is all part of the refuge project that have started work on. It's a multi-million-dollar, $16 million project, I guess, for us to take over their water and sewer function out there in the refuge. And we need a resolution here in order to maintain this water main underneath Route 148. So that's all part of this project. So I would entertain a motion to pass this resolution.
I'd make a motion to adopt resolution 2023-14, requesting a permit from the Illinois Department of Transportation to construct, occupy, and maintain a 10-inch water main under Illinois 148 at the intersection of EMA Road and Flats School Road.
Second that.
Okay, any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, item 8, a couple items here that Cody will address us with. First one, A.
Yeah, so for, I'm gonna say the better part of 2 years, we've been looking into a software solution that would allow all of our public works departments, so water and sewer, as well as our street department, to kind of interact with one another as far as sharing work orders and history of jobs, and just a way to categorize all the things that we do on a daily basis and house that in a digital format. Right now, water uses a different program than sewer, and a lot of our street functions are kept on Excels and that kind of stuff. So this puts everything under one roof, allows us to help maintain better records going forward. And it's got quite a bit of functionality as far as being able to forecast maybe what streets are due for overlay program on an annual basis. We know we've got a massive amount of sidewalks that need replaced. It'll help us forecast and itemize how we can best tackle that. And so it serves a lot of functionality for us, and it's fairly affordable given what I've seen out there on the market. The cost here, which is just over 15,000, I believe. I'm sorry, 17,000. 12,000 of that would consist of this program that I talked about, and another 5,000 would help maintain our fleet throughout the City of Marion. The street department does that for us now, and they work on anything from a police cruiser to a dump truck or something like that we have. And so when it comes time for scheduling maintenance and knowing what vehicles are due, this system will help us track that as well as house those records, so we know what maintenance has been done on a vehicle and when, and what it may be due for going forward. So that's the additional 5,200 for a total of 17,448. That cost will be split between the water and sewer fund and then the general fund, given that the street department will also be utilizing this software. It will allow us to bring in our existing records that are housed currently within the water and sewer. They're different platforms, so we'll download that data and upload it, into this new system. It also interacts with our GIS system to help visualize where we may have had historical issues, and track try and find a fix for those as well. So it does a lot, and again, given the cost, and based on what I've seen in the market, it does a lot for a little. So the department heads seem happy with where we could go with this, and they make the recommendation alongside me to use iWork. I will say this as well, we use iWork in our building and code office, have now for going on 3 years, and they're thrilled with it. So having past experience here has saved us implementation costs that would have accounted for an additional $13,000 in this process because we're already a customer of iWork. So there's a savings there on the front end because we already utilize them. But I think if you talk to anyone in building and code, they would tell you how much they enjoy using the system and how helpful it's been in their efforts over the last 3 years now.
Part of did you ever find out on the other systems that will be offboarding?
Yeah.
How much?
I don't have dollar amounts for you yet, no, but we will be.
We'll be saving some money on those other systems. We just don't have that nailed down just exactly yet.
That would offset this annual $17,000 investment.
Part of the challenge that Cody and the department heads went through, there were several. Aside from the expense of the other packages, some of them were like what I call buying a helicopter to go to the grocery store. They were just too complicated, and you'd end up spending more money in labor driving these things. This one's real straightforward, but does all the core functions that we need, and frankly gets us off, in a couple of departments, off of a pretty exclusively paper system, legal pad system on some of this. So, which just simply means this data is accessible to more of us, that we can figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of phone calls that transpire throughout the day, trying, at least from our standpoint, trying to see where we are on a project, where with this, we could refer to the system, see where they are, share pictures with a constituent, and really have a better idea, rather than wasting a bunch of time on the phone with our department heads to kind of see where a project is. So, again, we think it'll be a matter of efficiency as well as record keeping moving forward, so nothing falls through the cracks. Because that's the other piece of this. I have a bad habit of calling a department head and saying, hey, can you go take care of this? And then they're in the middle of something, and I don't realize that. So again, here we can kind of track those things. We can input things into this and see that they're getting followed up on in real time.
We have to merge a lot of databases that we already have into this, or we're just kind of, is it just?
We're going to take as much as we can and plug it in here. Unfortunately, some of that, as we mentioned, is on paper, so that creates a little bit of a challenge, but we will figure that out.
Cody, my only question, and maybe you can shed some light on this, I was looking through the service agreement.
Yeah.
Item 7, termination, the very last sentence on that page. During the term of this agreement, the customer may request a copy of all customers' data for a cost of no more than $2,500.
Yeah, so all the data stored here is stored on their server, not ours. So to acquire that data,
Okay.
we have to unfortunately pay for it.
All right. So we're basically using their server.
Yeah, it's cloud-based.
Okay.
Okay, I'll move to approve the proposal from iWork for the Public Works and Street Department software suite.
I'll second that.
Second that. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay?
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, item 8B, you want to speak to this too, Cody, or you want me to?
Yeah, so we know we're going to have some future bonding obligations to navigate through, and one of the first processes of that, and we've already went through that step, is to hire bond counsel. A couple months ago, we entered into an engagement letter with Gilmore Bell. This is a similar process, except the company that's before you, Stiefel, is an underwriter in that process. So we don't pay them directly out of any money that we currently have, any general fund money. They get paid out of bond proceeds. And so that's what's contemplated here, just entering into this engagement for future bond underwriting, and any fees that they take are made out of those bond proceeds.
Okay, I'll move to approve an engagement letter with Stiefel for future bond underwriting purposes.
I'll second that.
Is there any questions on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, commissioner reports. Commissioner Webb, you have a report tonight?
Yeah, as far as streets goes, we've been working on doing some storm water work on the Otis Street. Been doing some concrete patching on the intersection of Carbon and Princeton Street. Been cleaning up a lot of the streets, parking lot, mainly around the downtown area. Been doing some crack filling on several parking lots. Samron's done with the asphalt project. I think overall it went really well. I think I've seen looked in good shape. But they will be starting another project, which is a different contract. I think it's the federal money we have involved, but it'll be the paving West Main, Bainbridge, and Pentecost. So they have that yet to do. So, cemetery, we had 14 burials in the month of August. That's all I have.
Commissioner Steckland, do you have a report?
Just a small one. I wanted to give a nice shout out to the Public Works Department on the great job they've been doing around the square on the new water main stuff up there. I'll have a bigger report at the next meeting. We'll have our trivia that one. I also want to give a shout to the Civic Center. If you haven't checked the Civic Center page lately, please do, because it is probably the most jam-packed, big show stuff going on that I've ever seen at the Civic Center. So great things are happening there. Looking forward to a great fall and winter season there. That's all I've got tonight.
Okay, Commissioner Barwick?
Yes, the Marion Police Department activity report for August. There were 99 city ordinance violations, 321 criminal or traffic citations issued, 121 warrant arrests, 396 incidents reported, 166 traffic accidents, 2 DUIs. For the month of August, there were 2,308 dispatched calls, 1,981 911 calls, 4,600 non-emergency calls, and 270 ambulance calls. The narcotics unit had 159 citations issued, 68 arrests, 17 warrant arrests, 1,110 grams of cannabis seized, 17.97 grams of methamphetamine seized, 18.6 grams of a controlled substance seized, 0.3 grams of cocaine, 10.1 grams of crack cocaine seized, 2 alcohol offenses, 2 weapon offenses, and 2 firearms seized. That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Patton?
I would like to take this opportunity right now to thank the city council, the mayor, and Cody for the process we just went through for trying to find a treasurer replacement for Steve. As you well know, Steve's been here for a long time and has done a phenomenal job, both he and his staff, in kind of bringing us into the new way of doing things, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. Technology changes very quickly and very fast, so we have to stay on top of that. And I think Steve and his staff has done a great job. I'm excited for the opportunity for Mr. Roy to get in and roll his sleeves up and be ready to go come January. But I wanted to take the opportunity to thank the council and the mayor and Cody for approving him, and I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's a very good move on our part. Thank you.
Not so much a report on my departments, but a report of something I attended on Saturday. I had the honor of attending after the Veterans Parade. I've given you guys a little brochure. That's what this was. Some of you may be familiar with the name Lori Price, who was a state police motorcycle officer in the 1920s. I think the first one that was in our area. He was a World War I prisoner of war and war hero. He was honored by his family with a monument that's pictured here on the front of this and the back of your brochure. But he was tragically part of the Bloody Williamson story in 1927 when he was removed and his wife from his home, which was on the basically North Carbon as you get to the new roundabout. It was on the southwest corner of that. The sidewalk to that, his old home place, is still visible there. But the Charlie Burger gang took him and his wife out of his home and murdered him, but murdered them both brutally. And the family didn't want his story to be forgotten. But the name Price and the other family names Dufour, which you might recognize that street name near that area. And the family's very proud of Laurie and his achievements, and still mourns his death 100 years, almost 100 years on. So it's a pretty fascinating story, and I'm proud of them for not letting that story be forgotten. So that's at the Oddfellows Cemetery there, just across from Rose Hill on the northern end of our cemetery. And that's what the monument looks like, which is right there. So I think there's a...
Route 13 is Route 5.
Yeah, I was going to say part of Route 13 and near the, from somewhere right to the Saline County line, if I recall right, is the Laurie Price Memorial Highway. But his sacrifice is certainly worth remembering, and the family told me about it, and so it was right after the parade on Saturday, so I hopped right over there, and it was enjoyable hearing those stories about him. But I've got a brochure here for you too if you'd like it. So, but anyway, that's all I had. Under miscellaneous, we are still hopeful. Hopeful, fingers are crossed. Maybe not, but our next regular city council meeting will be at the new location at 350 Tower Square Plaza, which if that's the case, this would be the last meeting in this council chambers, or not, depending on what happens between now and then. We've got a lot, that's like 1,000 little details that got to get tied up between now and then. Also want to remind all of you, which I know you know, but the public too, we have a public hearing tomorrow, which is a statutory requirement on star bonds. That'll be at 6 o'clock tomorrow at the Civic Center right here on the square. And we've got several guests that'll be there, and a presentation that we suspect will last somewhere around an hour total. So obviously you guys all have to be there. Mr. Steckland, you'll be back there, right?
I will be there, sir.
Okay. Anything else to come under miscellaneous for the council? Anybody have a need for closed or executive session this evening?
I think we should thank Ed Davis publicly.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic parade. He
Thank you for
does a
that.
great job.
Yeah, so Chief is right. We had Veterans Parade was again a huge success. I think Ed is going to kind of taper off his activity with this and has somebody to replace him, but that's been a 20-plus year 20-plus year tradition here in Marion. I think they had 133 or 4 entries. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
I saw you marching in the parade.
Yes, sir. I have every year
Good.
since I've been here.
That's could not have been a more perfect weather day for it too. But my family enjoyed it, and I know lots of you did too. So we wish that whole organization well as they continue to hold that parade year after year. Proud of them. Thank you for that reminder. I appreciate it. Hearing nothing else to come before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Thank you all. Appreciate it. You know, Jim, you're always